The NASCAR Camping World E-Series has come to Nashville. 18-year-old Austin Dillon leads the race for the championship, but 38-year-old veteran Matt Kovaluk is hot on his heels. Tonight, it's a blend of young drivers and veterans. Should make for a great race in the StrutMasters.com 150. Welcome you to the Music City Motorplex in Nashville, Tennessee for the StrutMasters.com 150. I'm Mike Hogwood, along with Dan Partis. Dan, what a historic track. Always great racing here in Nashville.
Well, Nashville just makes great short track racing, you know, the high banks, the fast speed, high corner entry. Drivers love coming here, especially with the history this place has.
And this Camping World East Series, a great mix of young drivers and veterans, should make for a great race here tonight.
Well, it does. You know, you got to be a savvy veteran to get around this place, but these young guys, I tell you, they got what it takes to get around this place. You got to drive this racetrack hard, and that's what it's all about.
If you look at the point standings, and Austin Dillon, 18 years old, leads. Trevor Bayne second, Matt Kovaluk is third. Great race for the championship, and tonight's race could really impact these point standings. Right now, let's throw it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Derek Bernasiglio, who had a chance a short while ago to talk to some of these drivers racing here tonight.
Mike, Peyton Sellers is looking to turn his luck around this year in the StrutMasters.com 150 tonight. New car, new look, new luck?
I hope so. I tell you, we sure are running good here in Nashville. We had a good car here all day today and put her up on the front row, so I'm looking forward to it. Old Castle Systems EJ Prescott car is really hooked up, and hopefully we'll come home with a win tonight.
Do you have much experience at this racetrack?
I actually haven't been here since I was like 6 months old, so I can't really remember the line too well from then, but no, I've never been here in a big car like this, so this is a new experience here too. But I mean, Thompson and Loudon and Watkins Glen were all new to me also, and we got top threes there, so maybe we can do it again.
Last year, you won the race, became the first Mexican-born NASCAR driver to win on an oval. How special of an event was that for you?
I'm glad to be here. I'm very happy, and I want to repeat that win from last year. I mean, we brought the same car from last year, and we qualified 8. We should be pretty good for the race.
I mean, I'm not going for anything less this year than a championship. I know these guys are prepared for it. I mean, I know we can do it. And these guys are working so hard, and we've got the finishes going on for us. Just keep the top threes going and try to stay out of the bad luck. You know, I'd rather have luck than talent any day, and hopefully we can keep it going here.
Hard to believe he's only 17 years old, Trevor Bayne, huh?
Well, it must be nice, especially to come to a track like Nashville and go around with such history around it.
Driving for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Well, as you see, cars are on their pace laps. We come back, we'll introduce the starting grid. We'll take the green of the StrutMasters.com 150. The NASCAR Camping World E-Series on Speed is brought to you by StrutMasters.com, your one-stop shopping center for air suspension products. Dan Partis, Strutmasters, for a long time been involved with Peyton Sellers, and he won the pole here, and maybe tonight a chance for Peyton to start turning his season around.
It is, and that's what he needs, that whole team. But Peyton's a veteran, you know, he knows how to get around tracks like Nashville, and he's real good at it.
Jeffrey Earnhardt will start alongside him on the front row with Austin Dillon, Trevor Bayne. See down Brian Eichler, who's had a good season. Rogelio Lopez 1 year a year ago. Eddie McDonald's got a win this season.
Yeah, Eddie's been coming around strong, too. Mark Davis there in the Joe Gibbs racing car. And look at that, 14th position, Sterling Marlin. Going to be in this race today.
Interesting. Sterling Marlin, the veteran who has run many Sprint Cup races, is here. 28 drivers. Chase Mattioli in that 28th spot. And that is your starting lineup tonight here in the StrutMasters.com 150. Before we go green, want to go back down to Derek and get one final word about this historic racetrack. Derek?
Right before we begin the StrutMasters.com 150, wanted to let you know that this track shares a similarity with Greenville-Pickens Speedway. Similar in the sense that it's an old, rough, gritty racetrack that chews up tires. You walk up and down pit road all day, crew chiefs keep talking to their drivers about tire management. Keep the tires on the car, conserve the car for the very end of the race. The drivers are going to try to hold back as much as they can during the course of this race. Then at the three-quarter mark, the crew chiefs are going to tell the drivers to let them go. So tonight, it's all about tire management in the StrutMasters.com 150.
Dan, that was a good point that was made by Derek. We're going 150 laps. The rules are if you stop, you're dead. You got 4 tires to finish this race.
Well, exactly right, Derek. What Derek's saying is what a driver thinks about at this racetrack. Nashville chews up tires. It's a fast racetrack, so you got to pace yourself. Be careful not to overdrive the race car in the corner. Take care of them tires so you're there at the end.
Well, you see that 8 car. That's one of 3 DEI cars in this race, and they all 3 have a chance tonight with Jeffrey Earnhardt starting on the front row, and then Trevor Bayne up high as well. Jesus Hernandez, that 3rd DEI driver, about ready to go green here. It will be Peyton Sellers, new look in that 44 car, will start the race. And they head into turn 1. It is Sellers with a good start out in front. That's Earnhardt in the 8, and Austin Dillon. Dillon, by the way, the grandson of Richard Childress, running his granddad's old number 3, and of course Dale Earnhardt ran that number, but he's running it because his granddad run it. But Peyton Sellers here in the first lap out in front.
Peyton sets the pace, but what's good about Nashville is you get up in that second groove, there's enough grip on this racetrack that you can still race up there. So if a guy pushes you up there, like Matt Kovaluk there coming off the corner there, you're able to hang onto the race car and race back down the straightaway.
This racetrack has seen some historic races. It used to be the site on the Sprint Cup Series. Darrell Waltrip called it his home track for many, many years. And now, of course, we've got the new speedway here in Nashville, but it's great to see racing here get underway on this track. There's a battle for 4th. Kovaluk, Matt Kovaluk, who won earlier this season at Watkins Glen. Looking strong. Trevor Bayne battling with him. I think Kovaluk and Trevor Bayne are going to have some battles all season long.
I think you're right, Mike. You know, it's youth and veteran there, you know, running together. And, you know, if I was Trevor Bayne, I'd be wanting to follow Matt Kovaluk a little bit around and say, all right, let me get used to this place. Let me follow the race pace. See where these guys run here for a few laps. These guys are running single file, and that might be exactly what we're trying.
But look at that, Dan. It's Trevor Bayne who's out in front. The
Yep.
17-year-old leading the veteran.
Following him around there. You know, 18 degrees of banking on this racetrack. It really holds the race car down in the center of the corner. You're able to pick the throttle back up. Just such a neat place to come race at.
About Trevor Bayne, 17 years old. Matt Kovaluk, 38. Meanwhile, it is 24-year-old Peyton Sellers out of Danville, Virginia, who continues to lead this race. They've gone single file. I think everybody's doing what Derek said. They're just kind of being a little patient here early.
Well, it is, and that's what you have to be. You know, in the drivers' meeting, they talk to the drivers and listen, you guys use your head. It's a long race. Don't get out there and try to win this thing on the first lap. Take care of them tires. Tire management's everything. Like I said, Darrell Waltrip used to be the master of this track.
There's Sterling Marlin in the 95. Great to see Sterling here. This is his home track as well. He's run a lot of races on this track.
It is a lot of fun for Sterling to come to a track like this and race it. You know, talking to Sterling, he was excited about coming here and racing and just having a good time.
Sterling doing some battle with another youngster, Mark Davis, in that 18, and developmental driver for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Sterling's just a guy loves to race, and he loves Nashville, and he is definitely the sentimental favorite here in this race tonight.
Oh, he did. All eyes are on Sterling right now just to go out and have fun, and it would be, you know, it's a lot of fun for these guys to be able to race with Sterling.
In the early going here, and the leader is Peyton Sellers. Back in Nashville at the Music City Motorplex, the Strutmasters.com 150. There's number 35, Steve Park. We got a lot of former Sprint Cup veterans here in this.
Another NASCAR favorite here. You know, Steve's been around. He's raced a lot of tracks like this, but talking to him, he said, man, I love coming to Nashville, Mike, because the history here and just the high banks, and the track hasn't changed a bit here.
He was a winner here in the Nationwide Series. If you remember, driving for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. We talked about Sterling Marlin. He is here, his first ever E-Series race. And earlier, Derek had a chance to talk to Sterling about how it all came to be that he's here and racing tonight.
Bobby Jr. called me about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and wanted me to drive his car. He couldn't be here to drive it, and I said, I think I was off at this weekend, so I said, I'll drive it for you. And they've got a pretty good car, run pretty good in practice, and looks really good on the long run. So hadn't run for these guys any, but it's a lot of upcoming, you know, Cup guys probably in the field here tonight.
How are these cars compared to, say, the Nationwide Series cars or the Cup cars that you're used to racing?
Well, I guess these cars are a little lighter, pretty much like a Busch car, and I think they're a little down on power for the Busch cars are. I really hadn't, you asked what motors in them, but they drive about like the Busch cars, so no big deal.
Yeah, not ever a big deal to Sterling. One of the most laid-back drivers I've ever seen.
No, and he's driven anything from a wheelbarrow to a Sprint Cup car, so he's been around. He's got wheels on it. Sterling can drive it.
Mark Davis trying to make his way up through the field. That's Jody Lavender in that light blue car right behind him. Native of South Carolina. Up front, there's the top three. It hasn't changed. It's Peyton Sellers, Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 8, and then the 3 of Austin Dillon. Dillon, the points leader, so he has to be a little careful. Caution is out. First caution here of the day, and it comes for a spin. Number 39, that is Dustin Delaney, who's up in the wall there. Richard Gould in the 58 right behind him, and that has brought out the caution flag. Be interesting to see if somebody comes down on pit road during this caution. Some of the guys at the back may want to make some adjustments. And again, adjustments are something that unless you are running in the rear and not running well, it is not advisable to come in and make any. As Dustin Delaney, the 20-year-old out of Mayfield, New York, gets his car turned around, headed in the right direction.
No, but now's the time to come in and make some adjustments, because if you got an ill-handling race car, Mike, and you're burning the tires off of it, say the right front and the right rear, you need to get in now, make some wedge adjustments, make a track bar adjustment to get that car handling better, to take care of them tires.
Richard Gould also involved. He's got some damage on the left front. Might be a little bit of tire rub there. Not allowed to change tires unless NASCAR approves it. And if you do flat spot your tires or obviously get a cut down tire, you'll be allowed to come in and make the change.
Oh, you're exactly. We're 21 laps into the race now, so like I said, tires are everything about this racetrack. So if you got to make any changes, now's the time to get into it so you don't damage them tires too bad.
Well, hearing on the radio, some guys are planning to come down on pit road, and for more on that, let's head down to Derek Bernasiglio.
The number 16 of Max Dumouriez in the bodycoach.net sponsored entry comes in. He's over the line. The crew's got to back the car up while they do a quick gas and go stop. They're also going to do a track bar adjustment and a spring adjustment to the number 16.
Max Dumouriez, just 19 years old, out of Ghent, Belgium, driving for Mike Olson this year, having some handling trouble here early in the race and making a stop on pit road. You see Ricky Carmichael also made a stop down on the pit lane as well, and Dumouriez heads back out on the racetrack. And again, we're under caution. We'll restart this race the way we started, beginning with Peyton Sellers and the 8 of Jeffrey Earnhardt up front on the front row.
Yep, these drivers now got to get back in line, get back in the groove, get some heat back in these tires, and then go racing.
Well, you see they've doubled up. Austin Dillon, Trevor Bayne, 2 youngsters, both of them teenagers on that second row. And the light is out on that pace truck, so we should be going green very, very shortly here. It'll be an interesting restart. This is also a dangerous time in a race because the cars now are all bunched up. Nobody's strung out. Everybody's together, and you're going to see a lot of side-by-side racing.
Yeah, and exactly. And in this series, we start side-by-side, so it's actually making 2 rows. That outside groove does work here in Nashville, so it definitely makes for exciting racing. But you got to take care of your equipment this early in a race so you can be there at the end.
Truck is pulled off. Peyton Sellers will lead him back to the green just as he did to start this race. Look at Austin Dillon in that 3, tucking up right behind him.
He sucked right up under there. You got to be careful when you drive down on one. You don't want to get up underneath the guy's bumper and get turned around.
Well, again, they're side by side all over this racetrack. And Earnhardt and Sellers. Peyton Sellers again gets his car out in front and retakes the lead. He's led every lap so far here tonight.
Sellers' car gets off the corner extremely well.
Oh, my goodness. There's trouble. Rogelio Lopez, the defending champion of this race, is in it. Sterling Marlin also involved. Eddie McDonald, Ricky Carmichael. I don't think Carmichael got any damage, but Lopez in some trouble as well. And that is the 03 car. Also the 21 of Jonathan Smith with some heavy damage. And there's the 50 of Todd Peck. He also got involved in it.
Like a little log jam going down in the corner. Looked like possibly Sterling Marlin and Rogelio Lopez got together. They're driving down in the corner. It looked like Sterling drove down to the bottom, didn't get much damage to his car, but just a log jam there going down.
Well, as we said, a dangerous part of the race when you restart, and we are back under caution here in Nashville. Well, we had a little mess on the restart there at the Truckmasters.com 150. Involved Rogelio Lopez, who a year ago became the first driver from Mexico to win a Camping World Series East race, and it was right here in Nashville. His chance to win tonight has gone out the window. For more on what's going on for Rogelio, let's head down now to Derek.
And Mike, just a quick follow-up on the 0-3 of Rogelio Lopez. He falls out 22 laps into the event due to that wreck in turn number 3. Talk to the crew, ask them how bad the car is. They said the car is pretty bad. There's a lot of suspension damage on the left rear corner of the car, a lot of sheet metal damage as well. They also said that they bent the left rear truck arm. So they're going to go in, change the truck arm, come back out, but as you know, they're going to be many, many laps down.
Yeah, that's a shame for Rogelio. By the way, we're hearing from NASCAR, Dan, that Sterling Marlin was actually penalized for rough driving.
Yeah, they actually gave him a penalty, sent him to the back of the pack for aggressive driving. So possibly NASCAR thinks the same thing that Rogelio does. He may have got down in the corner a little bit more hotter than he should have and turned Rogelio around. Unfortunate for Sterling, but he's still back in the race. He can work his way back to the front.
Well, the 44 of Peyton Sellers again. Starting on the inside, Peyton has led every lap here tonight. Be interesting to see if Jeffrey Earnhardt has anything for him.
Jeffrey's got a good car, and you know, he had a good top 5 finish here last year, Mike, so he likes this place. Talked to Jeffrey a little bit. He said, man, this is the type of track that I really, really can get in the rhythm to, and it's so important for a driver to get that rhythm.
Last race at Thompson, Connecticut, Earnhardt had a top 5, finished 5th. His best finish this year is 2nd on the road course at Watkins Glen. Peyton Sellers was 18th in the last race in Thompson, Connecticut. Green is back out.
Oh, a little contact there driving down in the corner. Not sure what that was about.
Well, Peyton Sellers again gets his car out in front. Earnhardt tucks in behind him. That is Austin Dillon down on the inside. Trevor Bayne trying to take over 3rd place, and the youngster might do it.
Both them cars are about matched evenly. Was watching them on the clock. They're about running about the same speed around this racetrack. So Trevor Bayne and Austin Dillon have two good race cars.
And look at Brian Eichler in that 15 battling with Austin Dillon. And while these cars are running, Rogelio Lopez has come out of his car and he's down with Derek Bernasiglio.
Rogelio Lopez out on lap 22. Not the way you wanted your race to go, but we heard that you were hit from behind. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what happened. I think the 95 car hit us from behind. And I mean, I'm not trying to repair the car, but let's see what to do.
A really great guy, Rogelio Lopez. Love the way he played that guitar in Victory Lane last year.
Well, fortunate for him, you know, he's out of the race, but, you know, hats off to him for handling it the way he did, especially knowing this was in the race. That's hard around.
Matt Kovaluk and Brian Eichler doing some battle there. Kovaluk 3rd in the points after a 7th place run a couple of weeks ago in Thompson, Connecticut.
You know, you talk about Kovaluk, he's kind of just riding around out there, not really working the race car real hard, trying to stay down on the bottom, not abuse the tires. And again, this is a racetrack where a veteran will really come strong here towards the end of the race if he takes care of his tires. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that Matt Kovaluk.
You see that black 15, that is Brian Eichler, who is out of San Diego, California. Got 2 wins this year in Iowa and at South Boston. Had a couple of wins last year in the West Series. He's a guy to watch out for here tonight.
He is great. You know, he drove for Bill McAnally Racing over there on the West Coast. Done very, very successful. Decided to come back to the East Coast with his family and run the team here on the East Coast this year and doing a good job at it.
Boy, he and Kovaluk are having some battle out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, Matt likes that bottom group, but I tell you, Brian's working the top side. As long as the car drives good up there, works good, you can keep that momentum run off the corner right here, and you can get a good run down them straightaways.
Well, you wonder how much those guys are using up their tires right now, battling for that 5th position. Well, you see one car is pulled off of the racetrack. You know, this track is rough, as we talked about. It's Jody Lavender, and let's go down to Derek for the story on that 88 car. Derek?
The 88 H&R Block Ford Taurus of Jody Lavender comes in. Flat tire on the car, guys.
That's a tough break for Jody out of Hartsville, South Carolina. Here's a guy back in 2003 was the runner-up to Carl Edwards for Rookie of the Year in the Nationwide Series. Now running the E-Series full-time this year. Back on the racetrack, Peyton Sellers. He's owned it so far tonight.
He has. Nice smooth pace. That car is handling extremely well. It just sticks right down to the bottom of the racetrack. And that's so good as a driver, you know, good feeling, and it's a lot easier on them tires when you got a car that's handling that good.
got to tell you, too, it is a really hot night here tonight in Nashville. Thank God for the air conditioning in our booth, huh?
Exactly. You know, temperatures exceeding 100 degrees here today, and you know that racetrack temperature, it's probably 130, 140 degrees, and it takes them 3 or 4 hours to get it cooled down. So extremely hot temperatures here today.
Yeah, this track was really slick in practice all day today. Greasy, as they call it.
And that makes it tough, Mike, for a setup sometimes. The crew chief driver have to actually work on setup, so it does make it more difficult.
Well, still under green, Peyton Sellers has led every lap. Mike Hogwood, Dan Parnas, Derek Bernasiglio back with you in Nashville, Tennessee. The Strutmasters.com 150. Those two cars have been 1 and 2 all night long. Peyton Sellers, Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Yeah, they're the class of the field. You know, the cars are handling super well. Like I said, Peyton's got a really good race car. Jeffrey's car kind of slides up the racetrack from time to time, and he's got to take care of the tires, so he's got to be careful not to race through.
If there's a surprise in this race, it's that 80 car battling Jesus Hernandez for 7th. That is Derek Thorne. He is out of California, but running a few races in the East Series this year, not full time, but he is having a very good run tonight and a chance at a top 5 finish. So that would be a real feather in Derek Thorne's cap.
Well, it really would, especially to come to a racetrack like Nashville, fast, high bank, half-mile track like Nashville. Really got to get up on the steering wheel and drive that race car. He's doing a good job here.
And another Californian in Jesus Hernandez, the other DEI driver there. As we said, there's 3 of them in this race tonight. And Jesus Hernandez, Trevor Bayne, and Jeffrey Earnhardt. Thorne and Hernandez, 2 Californians having a good battle here in Tennessee.
Having fun, getting a little exposure here on the East Coast, and again, to come to a track with the history that Nashville's got, it's just a thrill for both of them guys.
As you see, the field's kind of strung out a little bit, and I think everybody in this top 10, top 15 realizes that tire management is so important that we haven't seen a lot of side-by-side racing. There is Craig Gose in the 2 car, who was battling Jeff Anton for a moment, but that's back in the pack just a bit. And Jody Lavender there got 4 inflated tires underneath his race car right now.
Drives a lot better that way. Jeff Anton also having a good race here tonight, so hopefully he can keep all 4 tires under that car and have a big top 10 finish.
Peyton Sellers showing the way as he has all season, or all race. This season started with Peyton Sellers on a track just like this, as you see Jeffrey Earnhardt running second. Greenville Pickens, and Sellers dominated that race. He actually won the race and then had the win taken away by NASCAR for an unapproved shock that they found in post-race inspection.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, and it was just different type of shock, and actually they would have not have known if they never disassembled that shock. Possibly bought them shocks from another team or a company and never really disassembled a little valve inside the shock. But that's okay. That team bounced back. They won the race, but really they didn't in NASCAR eyes, so they got the race taken from them, but it got the momentum going for that team and really got the morale going and the confidence in the driver built back.
And another amazing fact, this is Andy Santerre, the 4-time champion of the series, who's putting this car and this team out on the racetrack. As you see 2 youngsters doing battle. And Sellers' highest finish has been a 3rd at South Boston. That was his only top 5 of the year. He's coming off an 18th place finish in Thompson, Connecticut. So he really needs to get his season turned around, and he's hoping tonight is tonight. And from the looks of things, he's going to do it. Boy, he has just dominated every single lap here.
He has, but again, we talked about tires. You've got to be careful not to overdrive the car and try and outrace these cars behind him. You've got to drive this racetrack. You've got to actually race the racetrack and not be looking in the rearview mirror.
Well, he's got 3 guys behind him who are all youngsters. Matter of fact, they're all teenagers, the 3 behind him. You've got Jeffrey Earnhardt, who is 19. You've got Austin Dillon, who is 18. And you've got Trevor Bayne, who is 17 years old, right behind the 24 years old. I guess he's old at 24, Peyton Sellers.
Yeah, he is. And, it's something, these youngsters can come to a track like this, but no fear is the word. These guys have no fear, and come to a fast track like Nashville, it doesn't bother them one bit to cruise around this track at 130, 140 miles an hour.
Hey, Trevor Bayne continues to be impressive in that 1 car. He's from Tennessee, from Knoxville, Tennessee. won the last race. Last time out, how about that? The 17-year-old was in victory lane in Thompson. 2005 Allison Legacy Series national champion. Been running the Pro Cup Series Rookie of the Year in 2006. He's got a bright future in front of him, driver of that #1 car.
Oh, he definitely does. And actually, obviously, to turn some eyes, over a DEI race and as a development driver means a lot to him. He's got good people behind him.
Well, the DEI cars are second and third, Earnhardt and Trevor Bayne. And then it's Austin Dillon in the 3, all chasing down Peyton Sellers. And it's not going to be easy to get by that 44 tonight.
No, it's not. Then you got Matt Kovaluk hanging back there in 5th. He's just kind of cruising, so not sure if he's having problems or he's just kind of taking it easy.
That was the other DEI driver, Jesus Hernandez, battling with Richard Johns in that red 59.
Jeff Anton down there on the bottom side. These cars might have been going back and forth every other lap. They're having a heck of a race back there.
Well, Hernandez trying to get up and catch his DEI teammates who are running second and third, and he is not too far behind them at all.
Hernandez says, I don't mind running this outside line. I can hang here.
This is the battle for 8th place. Anton has it, but Hernandez wants to take it away. Here in the Strutmasters.com 150 under green, and our leader still is Peyton Sellers. On a warm night in Nashville, Tennessee, the Strutmasters.com 150 here at the Music City Motorplex on the famed Nashville Fairgrounds. So many great races have been run, and look at this. We're going to have a battle for second place between two teammates. Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 8 and Trevor Bayne in that 1 car.
Trevor's been looking on that bottom side, just really getting good right through the center there. Important at Nashville to get back up on the gas pedal and make the car turn. And that's where Trevor's car's been extremely well, right through the center.
And is that the best place to pass here and you try to get your fender underneath there?
Well, as a driver, yeah, you want to get down in the center, right through the center, off corner exit's the best place. You really don't want to pass too much getting down in corner entry with fear of the guy in front of you not seeing it. But look at Trevor, good pass there on Jeffrey Earnhardt.
That is for second place. Austin Dillon right behind that group, and there in the background you see Matt Kovaluk biding his time, the veteran. And Trevor Bayne in that 1 car has now taken second place and will set his sights on Peyton Sellers, who has led still every lap of this race.
Yep, and look at Austin Dillon. He's seen a hole there. When a guy makes a hole on the inside of Jeffrey, he says, I think I'll volley on through there, but not enough to get by Jeffrey Earnhardt. He falls back in.
Jeffrey Earnhardt does not seem to be handling as well as he did earlier tonight.
Nope, he don't. Looks like Jeffrey runs up to the top side, slides up the racetrack. Look at him, Mike. Slides up there in that almost 3rd groove and lets Trevor Bayne pass him back by on the inside.
2 youngsters, as we said, and I think it's worth mentioning again that Trevor Bayne is only 17 years old. He had a great race at Iowa, too, where he finished 3rd, a race where Casey Kane was involved. Brian Eichler won that race in Iowa, where the East Series and the West Series came together. Here's Matt Kovaluk. I think Kovaluk has run so many of these races in this series that here's a guy biding his time and really trying to take care of those tires later in this race.
Well, Matt's learned the hard way. In his earlier years, he was an animal, and he'll tell you that. He was really hard on equipment. Overdrove the race car many times, and just realized now, he's smart enough now where he looks, hey, I need to win. I need to be there at the last lap, and I've got to take care of my equipment to be there.
And there are 2 guys racing with quite a racing heritage. Austin Dillon, son of Mike Dillon, and the grandson of Richard Childress in that 3. And, of course, Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 8. He had a pretty famous grandfather as well.
Well, he did, too. And I know Kerry Earnhardt. I raced with Kerry Earnhardt, in the Dash Series and the Busch Series. And Kerry's been around racing a long time. He manages a shop over at the DEI. He's also a big wealth of information for his son.
And Matt Kovaluk trailing behind those 2 youngsters who show so much promise. And you'll see Dillon and Earnhardt, I am sure, in the Nationwide and later on in the Sprint Cup Series as well. Peyton Sellers continues to show the way, although up front Trevor Bayne is starting to really gain on him. I think we're going to have a battle of the lead pretty soon. And matter of fact, we may have one right now as Bayne is caught up to Peyton Sellers.
Now Bayne has got, his car seems to be really coming around well. It gets off the corner extremely well. Like I said, right through the center, he's able to pick that throttle up. So he has actually reeled in Peyton Sellers and says, I want a little bit of this lead for a while.
Dan, if Bayne is faster than Sellers, and Sellers kind of senses that, Would it be smart just to let him go at this stage of the race and not try to use your tires up and hold him off?
Well, I wouldn't fight him if I was Peyton Sellers, and that's probably what you'll see happen. Peyton's not going to use them tires up. He knows he has to be there at the end, so if Bain has a good run coming off the corner, he'll probably just slip up and let him by, let him pass him, and then say, I'll be there at the end. I'll fight you back then.
Well, he's definitely caught up to him, and obviously if you're a faster car and you're running behind him there, you can block if you're out in front, but that will really use up your race car a little bit, won't it?
Well, you're right. You don't want to do that this early in the race. We're less than halfway. We're not quite halfway there yet, so you've got to take care of that equipment. So just use your head.
I think Austin Dillon and Jeffrey Earnhardt both using their heads. They've had quite a battle going on for third place, but they've been very smart about it.
Well, they have. They've been going back and forth, kind of just trying the racetrack out there a little bit, just seeing if that high group appears to be working pretty good for Jeffrey Earnhardt. He's been up in that second group most of the race here, and he likes it.
As you saw, a battle for the lead. Bain got inside for a moment of Peyton Sellers and now backs off, and he'll wait and take another run at him.
He's able to get off that corner well, and again, I think, like you said, Mike, if he gets down underneath Peyton Sellers, Peyton will probably lift out the gas pedal and let him on by.
Well, Sellers keeps drifting high, and that opens the door for the youngster from Knoxville, Trevor Bain, and he's going to take the lead.
Yeah, you see Peyton just said, all right, come on, you want it? That bad, just go ahead and take it. I'm not going to use my car up. That's exactly what happened.
New leader for the first time tonight as Dillon and Earnhardt continue to battle side by side. Trevor Bain, the youngster, now out in front, trying to make it 2 wins in a row in this series, coming off a win in Thompson, Connecticut.
Yep, these two guys going back and forth also. I'll tell you what, though, I think these two need to get in line. They need to stop swapping back and forth, working the high, working the bottom. You see Matt Kovaluk back there, he's just kind of riding. He could have many times dove underneath Austin Dillon and tried to take a position, but he's not done that yet. You see he's looking at it now, but these guys really need to get single file and take care of these race cars.
Yeah, it's Kovaluk who's really taking care of not using up his tires, while you can't say the same for Earnhardt and Dillon. My.
Car spun down there on the bottom of the racetrack. Not sure if that was Sterling Marlin. I'm not sure. It looks like this car might be on the bottom.
It is the 95 of Sterling Marlin, and that has brought out the caution. Sterling didn't hit anything, just kind of turned it around.
It happened right in front of these leaders here. Trevor and Peyton Sellers.
And this is the pass for the lead right here. Look how low that Trevor Bain is on that racetrack.
Yep, right down to the bottom, puts it on the apex.
We are under caution after the spin from Sterling Marlin. Trevor Bain is our leader. Peyton Sellers, the pole sitter, currently running second right now. And I guess a chance for everybody that had been kind of racing hard. You talk about Dillon and Earnhardt to kind of take their breath for a moment.
Well, it is. And, you know, you talk about the race car, you know, if you want to change your line or do something different, now's the time to think about it.
Well, we'll be back in a moment with more of the Strutmasters.com 150. Big development while we were away. Peyton Sellers came down on pit road for a stop. What about it, Derek?
Peyton Sellers was running in the top 5. He said to the crew over the radio that the car was just getting a little too free. When he would get into the throttle, the rear end would step out coming off the corners. So he came down pit road, he got a track bar adjustment, and he got a rounded wedge.
Well, guys, this is definitely a racetrack you do not want to be loose at. You're carrying so much speed going down in the corner. If you got a problem, this was a big advance and bonus for Peyton Sellers to come in and make an adjustment to be able to possibly still win this race.
And with a little less than 70 laps remaining, still time for Peyton Sellers to make his way up through the field. By the way, Sterling Marlin, after that spin, came down and changed tires. You can't do that unless NASCAR approves it. So an unapproved tire change and another penalty for Sterling Marlin. He is not happy about it.
Tough break for Sterling. You're allowed to change a tire, but you have to have a cut in it or have to have a puncture in it. Sterling changed the right rear tire of that race car, obviously because he spun around thinking it was flat spotted. Other series, you can do that. In this series, you're not allowed to unless it's got a hole in it or something like that. So 2-lap penalty for Sterling Marlin for unapproved change.
Well, as we said there, Sterling, he is not happy at all after that penalty. About ready to go back to green. It'll be Trevor Bayne on the inside this time, and Austin Dillon on the front row after the pit stop by the 44 car of Peyton Sellers. And look at Dillon. Wow, the restart. What a jump.
Man, fired on that outside. Tremendous grip on that outside groove. His car's been handling a little bit up in that first and second groove. So big gain for him on that outside.
And you know, Matt Kobaluk, here we are. You know, we're over halfway through this race now. And I think Kobaluk's decided it's time for him to get going as well.
Matt's been looking a little bit too, but his car works super good down off the bottom. And again, he's been so smooth. Important here at Nashville. We got to remember to take care of them tires. I think Matt Kobaluk has learned that here in the past.
And again, we'll remind you, Peyton Sellers, who was so strong in the first half of this race, made a pit stop, and he is going to have to work his way through traffic. Dillon and Trevor Bayne, that is the battle for the lead.
Two youngsters. Again, these cars are handling real good. They just got to use their head, not get too racy. Again, take care of the cars, but you know, you don't have to lead every lap. You just have to lead that lap.
And look who's lurking behind Matt Kobaluk, still being patient as these two racing each other. And Kobaluk says, I'll look at that and watch those guys go at it all day long.
Let them slide up the racetrack. You seen Austin, he drove down in the corner there so hard, slid up in that third groove, but able to hold on to the race car.
Dan, we talked a little bit more about the change in the handling of these race cars. It was so hot here today, blazing hot, and now the temperature has cooled off a bit here at night. What kind of effect does that have?
Well, if a crew chief makes a good calculated decision, it'll always work for the positive, and obviously them two cars have worked for the plus. You know, a lot of times a car will get a little bit tighter, a little bit freer, so if the crew chief makes the right change, it'll definitely go in the right direction. But this track has changed some 20 or 30 degrees in temperature.
We saw Peyton Sellers battling Richard Johns there in the 59. He's having a tough time as he tries to make his way back up through the field. Made his way back up into the top 10 now.
Car working extremely well. Made some adjustments to that car. Listening to him on the radio, it was super loose. Could not drive the race car. He likes it, but he's saying, man, we should have went a little bit more, guys, because the car still is a little bit loose at this point.
Again, Peyton Sellers just has had a tough season in that Andy Santerre prepared car. It started with the tough luck at the beginning of the season after appearing to have won at Greenville Pickens, penalized and given a last place finish in that race, and that pretty much cooked them in a chance for the championship. It's only a 13 race season, so you have one bad race and you're pretty much out of it.
Yeah, tough break. You know, unfortunately, when you have a bad race with a competitive series like this, it doesn't always work out. But look at Jeff Anton looking on the bottom side. Matt Kobaluk for third position. Man, is he having a good run here tonight in Nashville.
Finished 10th in the last race in Thompson, Connecticut. Jeff Anton, 27 years old, out of Russell, Massachusetts. His dad, Ray Anton, famous Corvette racer in the mid-70s, and Dad would be proud of the run he's doing.
He would too. You know, Mike, this is a good run for these guys. That's an underfunded team, under budget, definitely, and to come run with these guys as good as he's doing tonight in a track like Nashville, all right, my hat's off to him.
Oh, there's a spin. That's going to bring out another caution to bunch up this field. We're under yellow again, and every yellow here is an opportunity for somebody up front. It's not what Trevor Bayne wanted to see, but for Austin Dillon and Matt Kobaluk behind him, this might be the chance that they were looking for tonight to try to get up front and take the lead here in Nashville. Well, some drama before we go back to green. First of all, Peyton Sellers, who made his stop, has made his way into the top 5. But there are some other guys who had been running strong earlier tonight who have come down on pit row under this caution. Let's go down now and get the story from Derek.
The number 8 of Jeffrey Earnhardt in, as is the 88 of Jody Lavender in the H&R Block Ford. Earnhardt was running in the top 5 at the time. They're going to see attention to the right rear corner of the car. No adjustments going on. Looks like just a right rear tire change. Brian Eichler is also in. He's taking on fuel. No adjustments to that car. Mark Davis also in. He's going to take on tires as well.
Well, there are your top 3. Of course, they're not coming in. Trevor Bayne, Austin Dillon, and Matt Kobaluk.
And that's what Jeffrey Earnhardt wishes he had, some goodies. Cool orange right now, because it's like he had some problems. Had to come down pit road.
Got a headache, huh? Yeah. Well, we're about ready to go back to green flag racing here as we move into the later stages of this race. You see them all doubled up. It'll be Austin Dillon and Trevor Bayne on the front row, 17 and 18 years old, and then two veterans, Matt Kovaluk in that 40 car, and then the 30 of Jeff Anton, having one of the best runs of his career here at Nashville tonight. Light is out on that pace truck as they come down the back stretch. Will take the green flag this time. And again, Peyton Sellers, I think he's going to be somebody to watch. Remember, he made that pit stop and is now in 5th place. What a job he's done making his way up through the field.
Yep, he benefited from making some adjustments to that race car, which every driver wishes they can come in and tweak on a little bit. Peyton Sellers was able to do that early enough to get himself back up towards the front.
Peyton Sellers in that 44. He's 3rd in line there on the inside.
Ricky Carmichael making his way up to the top 10 also. Good run for him here tonight.
4th in line on the outside, and boy, they're bunched up again on the restart. And there's Trevor Bayne. Austin Dillon will tuck in behind him.
Get single file, boys. Weed it out. Best thing to do right now. Feel that race car out. Fortunately, when we go on caution there a little bit, we get some speedy dry and rubber built up on the tires. Takes a few laps to get it off.
Look at the battle, Dan, between Peyton Sellers and Matt Kovaluk. My goodness.
Oh, Matt's in the wall hard.
Kovaluk bangs in the wall as he and Sellers were battling, and Kovaluk ran out of room.
Wow, that's the thing about this racetrack. That wall comes so fast off corner exit, you just cannot get out of the gas pedal. Here's another look at it. He's on the outside, just nowhere to go. Man, Steve Park right behind him.
Yeah, Park also grazed the wall.
Sure did. Not sure, possibly some oil down on the racetrack or a little bit of something, but boy, getting a little loose, extremely loose off that corner.
You know, I think it's go time now. I think these guys are all cranking it up a notch. You know, the time of managing your tires and being patient just about over. This is the 7th race in the season in NASCAR's Camping World East Series at the Music City Motorplex. Mike Hawkwood, Dan Parnas, and Derek Fernasiglio with you. And we are getting down as we're past 100 laps now, under 50 to go.
Man, Mike, I'm surprised that Matt Kovaluk's car was not hurt worse than it is when he nailed that outside wall, because he really took a good shot there. Usually that'll knock the toe out of the front of these cars, bend an upper or lower control arm, or maybe knock the track bar pennard rod, bend it, but obviously that race car seems to be handling just as well as it was before he tapped that wall.
4th place behind Peyton Sellers, who made a pit stop and made his way back up through the field into 3rd. And here comes Anton, the battle for 4th.
Anton's just been coming strong. I tell you what a good show from Jeff Anton here tonight at Nashville. Just being patient, working his way towards the front, taking care of his equipment. Man, he has really run well these last few laps.
Anton's best career finish was a 3rd, and as soon as we said that, something happens on the car. Maybe he cut down a tire?
Tire went down. It sure did. Looked like a right front tire down on Jeff Anton's car. Tough break for him.
Wow.
Man, having such a good run here tonight, and this. Right front tire is definitely down on that car.
Having the run of his career. I just mentioned that his best career finish was 3rd. That was at Lime Rock last year, and he was poised to make a real run.
Man, tough break for that team. But I tell you, they've got nothing to hang their head about. They've had such an extremely good run here tonight. Hopefully they can carry that motivation over to the next race.
And on this rough racetrack that chews up some tires, you knew something like that was going to happen to somebody.
Just gotten around Matt Kovaluk. Obviously knew there was something wrong because, man, look, he just drives down in the corner here. Does a good job of getting that car slowed down, Mike. Not making much contact with the wall at all and getting it slowed down. Getting back down there on pit road.
Yeah, but you know he is heartbroken right now. There's Ricky Carmichael. Haven't talked a lot about him as you see Anton, who's got some fresh tires on now and is able to get back out, but it's going to be a long night for him. Ricky Carmichael, driving for Ken Schrader, has moved up into the top 5, but Trevor Bayne continues to lead. I'm really impressed with how this youngster is getting around this racetrack.
He has. Just really took it well, smooth, working his way through traffic. So important. He makes his way around Emilio Lopez there.
Well, you see Rogelio, who was involved in that wreck earlier, back out just making some laps now for points. And that's, you know, he's disappointed. He won this race last year. Jesus Hernandez and Richard Johns in that red 59. They have battled positions all night long, and Johns almost turned Hernandez around. That's Craig Gose in that 2-car behind him. Now John's going to try him on the outside. My
look
goodness,
at that.
Lost it.
Man, time we get on somebody and talk about him, something happens.
Brian Eichler involved in that. Craig Gose involved as well.
Wow.
Derek Thorne in the 80 car. My goodness.
Gose having a good run. Eddie Sharp Racing. Johnny Allen, the crew chief on that car.
And you know that Richard Johns had been having a really strong run in the 59, and maybe he cut down a tire.
It sure looked like it, or he just got down there right through here. He's getting loose. He's turning the steering wheel right and possibly having a tire going down also, Mike.
Ghost turns around, gets into him, and Eichler has absolutely nowhere to go.
Another look at that. Yeah, he just gets loose up on that outside.
Yeah, I think he just got loose and lost it.
Yep, tires appear to be up on the right side of that race car, so he just got up there, possibly a little too hot down in the corner, and lost the back of the race car.
We're under caution here in Nashville. Trevor Bayne is our leader. Several cars involved in that accident are down on pit road, including Craig Gose out of Greenville, North Carolina, and he has just plain not had a very good night. Let's go down now to Derek.
The Greenville Toyota, number 2 of Craig Gose, comes in for service from the crew. A lot of damage on the car right now. There's heavy right front damage to the bumper cover, to the right front fender, trying to pull that sheet metal away from the right front tire. He did get involved with the number 80 of Derek Thorne, another crew member trying to reach over the wall with a pole to push some of that sheet metal in. A tough break for Craig Gose. He's had a rough day all day. He's been complaining of no grip in the car whatsoever.
Craig Gose, a youngster, is very fortunate to have Johnny Allen there helping him with that car.
Oh, he sure is. Johnny's got a lot of background. Crew chief in the Winston Cup series, when it was Winston Cup, and Busch series, when it was the Busch, a little bit of nationwide. So he's been around a long time. Lots of experience there. Johnny Allen at the helm. Then, of course, Eddie Sharp, team owner of that car. He's got a fine group behind him.
Well, as you can see, the signal's been given, 1 to go, and we'll go green next time around. Trevor Bayne and Austin Dillon, and look behind them, the 2 veterans, the 44 of Peyton Sellers and the 40 of Matt Kovala.
Them guys kind of just been hanging back there. You know, Peyton Sellers, like you talked about, Mike, made them adjustments and worked his way back towards the front. Then the 35 car, Steve Parks, sits back there also. He's been quietly here all night, working his way back up towards the front.
I remember Steve Parks' first win for Dale Earnhardt came right at this racetrack in what was then the Busch Series, now Nationwide Series. And it was a tremendous victory for Steve Park and for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, their first win, and it was right here on this racetrack. Pace truck has pulled off. We're ready to go. Back green flag racing. And on the restart, look at Austin Dillon on the outside. Get a great jump.
Good grip on that outside. Again, as the race goes on, you get a lot of tire rubber up on that outside group. Tremendous restart for Austin Dillon.
Trevor Bayne second, but he's getting a lot of pressure from Sellers and Kovaluk, who are side by side. Here comes Peyton Sellers.
Guy's getting a little bit racy, but remember, still got to take care of them tires there with this many laps on them. You got to wait till about 10 to go, and that's the time to really check out.
You know, Sellers looking like he was getting a little squirrely there. He tried to get underneath Trevor Bayne, and now look at Matt Kovaluk on the outside. We've got caution. Yellow is out. We've had another spin here late in this event. And so the yellow is back out, and we'll have another exciting restart. There's Jeffrey Earnhardt. He cut down a tire. He cut down the right front tire on that car. A tough break for Earnhardt, who started second in this race tonight and been running in the top 10 virtually all night.
Man, unfortunate for him. He's had such a good race car here all night. Not sure if he got into the wall first and then cut the tire, or cut the tire and then got into the wall, but obviously that race car used up the front toe end, knocked out of that race car, so not sure if he'll be able to continue on. He'll have to bring it to the attention of his crew, and they'll have to take a look at that car.
Well, obviously that's an approved tire change by NASCAR, as Jeffrey Earnhardt, 19 years old, out of Mooresville, North Carolina, and driving one of the 3 DEI cars in this race, comes to the attention of his crew. They don't seem to be in a huge hurry here, but it's not going to be easy to get that car fixed, and their chance to win, that's what really has disappointed them. That's gone out the window. Well, Derek Pernissiglio has made his way over to where they're working on Jeffrey Earnhardt's car. So let's go down to Derek and see what the story is on the 8 car.
Jeffrey Earnhardt sits behind pit road right now in the Dale Earnhardt Foundation number 8 Chevrolet. Having problems with the right front tire. He came in with a right front flat. They just put on a brand new scuff tire on that race car. A lot of fender damage on the front end. The hood is also up on the race car. One of the crew members is putting a round of track bar into the rear of the car, and hopefully they're going to get Jeffrey Earnhardt back out onto the track to finish the laps and get those much needed points.
It's still a disappointing night as we're ready for a restart again. We've got under 30 laps to go here in the strutmasters.com 150.
Yep, these guys got to use their head, but it's almost go time. But again, we got to take care of them tires. Be careful not to slide them around too much. We got to keep that car up there in the top 5 if we got a car that could win here tonight.
Well, Austin Dillon on the restart takes the lead. He is the series points leader. Kovaluk, Sellers, boy, throw a blanket over those guys.
Yeah, look at Matt Kovaluk up on the outside. Oh, touches the wall again, Mike. It's amazing, though, that car still handles that well when he made altercation with the wall some 20 or 30 laps ago.
Second time tonight that Kovaluk has spanked the wall here in Nashville. Almost did it again on that lap.
I think he likes it. Doesn't really bother him. Don't appear to hurt the race car too much, but you got to be careful because there's a fine line there.
Well, yeah, right. He didn't scrub off any speed when he scrubbed on the wall. And he has got 3rd place now. Matt Kovaluk, who saved his tires all night long. And he has got a fast race car right now.
He sure does. The car turns extremely well. Looks to be a little bit loose. He probably knocked it a little bit loose when he bounced off the wall, but that, oh, look at that car sideways again, hanging on to it. He has got his hands full, but he is up on the steering wheel here tonight.
Kovaluk's kind of hanging it out, isn't he? He's getting ready to go by Austin Dillon, and again he almost loses it.
Look at her sideways, but I tell you, it's a big gain here off the corner.
Ready to go with the final 20 laps of this race. And boy, have we had some great battles. Peyton Sellers getting by Austin Dillon. Matt Kovaluk running 2nd right now.
And these two been racing back and forth here for the last few laps also. But what they need to do, Mike, is probably get single file at this point in the race and try and catch the leaders.
Boy, wouldn't this be something if Trevor Bayne could win for the 2nd time in a row in this series?
Wow, it sure would, especially at that age. What an accomplishment.
17 years old. Mark Davis starting to make a move. There's Steve Park racing with him. These guys in the top 5.
Steve Park looking at the bottom. Talk to him. Again, you talked about Steve Park. He loves coming to this place. A lot of history here. Been here for years and years. Enjoys coming back.
And look who's hanging right behind him. Ricky Carmichael, maybe the greatest motocross racer of all time, who's over 150 wins in his career. They're in that 4 car.
Ricky doing extremely well, driving for Ken Schrader Racing.
He's adapted well to the 4-wheel sport, hasn't he?
Well, he has. And talking to Ricky, he says, you know, I drove late models for a while, but man, when I got in these bigger, heavier cars, nationwide cars, ex-sprint cars, he said they just drive so much better. I really enjoy driving the bigger, heavier car.
Well, Ricky Carmichael, 24 major AMA championships. And boy, is he a real star at these racetracks. A lot of fans trying to get his autograph. Jeff Anton in that 30 car, cut down a tire earlier in this race.
Tough break for Jeff. He's got a race car. Look at that. He's up there racing with them guys in the top 5, but some laps down, obviously had to come in and take tires.
Jeff Anton running with the leaders now, but not going to have the finish he wants. Caution is out. We've had a spin, and caution has come out. Under 20 laps to go. Matter of fact, 17 laps remain now in the strutmasters.com 150. It'll bunch the field up. We're going to have a great finish. Well, we're getting down to it in the strutmasters.com 150. About ready to go back. Green flag racing. And Dan, this is the time where if you've got anything, you let it go. You don't hold back at all. There's Brian Eichler, who's had a tough night tonight. But up front, it's going to be Matt Kobaluk, who is going to start now on the front row. And I think Kobaluk is the guy who's got the freshest tires, starting alongside Trevor Bayne.
Well, he took care of his tires through the race. As we said, he was riding back there 5th and 6th place, Mike. The first half of the race kind of took care of his tires. But remember, he whacked that wall really hard. It's amazing that 40 car Matt Kobaluk is handling as well as it is.
Not once, Dan, but twice.
Exactly.
He smacked that wall hard.
It's hard to believe, but I tell you, the car looks a little bit loose, but Matt likes a loose race car, and here at Nashville, if you can get the car down in the corner without losing it and spinning out, if you can get back on the gas, a loose race car could be good here this late in the race so that you can get off that corner and pass that car that's in front of you.
And don't count out Peyton Sellers or Austin Dillon. Green is back out. Bayne's got the inside line, but look on the outside.
Oh, Matt Kobaluk likes that outside. Again, that's where he's popped that wall 3 or 4 times. He really gets a good run on that outside.
Side by side still. Sellers and Dillon behind him. There's Steve Park in that white 35 car running 5th.
Look at Kobaluk, shot on the outside of Trevor Bayne. Man, is he on a mission.
Matt Kobaluk leads tonight for the first time.
Another look at that. Look at Kobaluk up on the outside. Just good car control of that race car, able to keep it underneath him. Good momentum there off the corner, carries all the way down the straightaway.
Kobaluk has now led in 5 of the 7 races this season. He's got a win. That was at Watkins Glen. And coming off a 7th place finish in Thompson, Connecticut, Matt Kobaluk still has yet to win a championship in this series, but has a real shot at it this year.
See Peyton Sellers, like you talked about him earlier, Mike, he made an adjustment, was able to come back out, and man, he has worked his way back up towards the front.
Austin Dillon able to hold him off for the moment, but Dillon looks like the handle might be going away on that car.
Well, he does. He drives down in the corner and, man, just looses the nose of the race car, loses front grip. Obviously, them tires wore out. He slides up the racetrack. Peyton Sellers able to stick it out underneath the bottom.
Trevor Bayne led a good portion of this race. Now the youngster who might have used up his tires trying to get by Kobaluk. Oh, he's got another run left in him now, side by side with Matt.
Trevor did look to the bottom. His car is doing well. Obviously, when he gets some heat in them tires, it seems to handle a little bit better, and he's got something for Matt Kobaluk.
The 17-year-old Trevor Bayne looking pretty good. Matt Kobaluk, the veteran, and there's a caution out. Kobaluk is going to be the leader. Under 10 laps remaining. The caution has come out here at the Music City Motorplex.
Oh, and that's going to be a big fight for the finish this late in the race, that's for sure.
Well, Matt Kobaluk is going to be the guy to beat as we are under caution here. Trevor Bayne, you got to wonder if he might have used up his tires a little bit. I know that Austin Dillon, we've seen him get loose a little bit as well.
Well, it appears that way. Trevor's car runs down in the corner, slides up in that 2nd and 3rd groove, and that's usually a sign of no grip in the front of the race car, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that.
And does Peyton Sellers have anything left? Or what about Steve Park? It is going to be some finish here under caution. This restart, just a few laps remaining. Kobaluk, your leader. The NASCAR Camping World E-Series on Speed is brought to you by strutmasters.com, your one-stop shopping center for air suspension products. Getting down to it here in the strutmasters.com 150. Few laps remaining, and it'll be Trevor Bayne and Matt Kobaluk on the front row to restart this race.
This is going to be a fist fight. Matt Kobaluk down on the bottom. He runs a little better, Mike, up on the top side, so we'll just have to watch to see how his car does down on the bottom.
Well, it's Trevor Bayne who wants to take that lead. It looks like he's going to do it.
Kobaluk looks to the to the bottom there, and again, he really gets a good run off the corner, but his car was extremely loose there the last few laps, so we'll just have to see when he gets some heat in them tires what happens.
Peyton Sellers is running third, and again he hits the wall. Third time tonight that Kovaluk has hit the wall, and this doesn't affect him one bit.
No, and you know what? Every time he hits the wall, he appears to go a little bit faster, looking to the bottom of Trevor Bayne.
Kovaluk trying to pass now on the inside.
Oh, they both slide through the corner sideways. Wow, this is Nashville racing.
And Trevor Bayne gets knocked up high. Peyton Sellers might be able to get by him.
Look at Matt Kovaluk. Whoa, look at the one car Trevor up on the outside. He is loose, possibly a tire going down on that car.
Now something is really wrong with Trevor Bayne. Carmichael got by him as well. Austin Dillon, Trevor Bayne not in the hunt any longer. And Matt Kovaluk is going to be the guy to beat.
Peyton Sellers worked all the way back up to second place. Not sure if he's got enough to catch Matt Kovaluk, but man, he's on a mission.
Boy, Sellers just did a great job. He made a pit stop. He's the only one of these top drivers who stopped, made an adjustment, and it has really helped. He's in second place, but he's got a ways to go to catch up to Matt Kovaluk, and the laps are winding down here.
He does, and this is what Matt Kovaluk wants to see, because his race car is a little ill handling. He needs all the racetrack he can to actually get that 40 car through that corner as fast as possible and use up as much racetrack as possible to keep it underneath him.
And Austin Dillon in third place. I think he is just hanging on as we're on the white flag lap. Final time around here at this Nashville racetrack, the Music City Motorplex. And Matt Kovaluk trying for his second win of this Camping World Series East Division season.
How about that? Matt Kovaluk banging off the wall, beating and banging, and he comes to victory lane here at Nashville.
How about Kovaluk? Sticks the hand out the window. Matt Kovaluk, second win of the season, and that's going to really help him in the points chase. Peyton Sellers, his best finish of the year. He comes home in second place.
How about it? Poor Trevor Bayne, you know, he must have had a tire going down on that race car.
Yeah, Dan, he unofficially finishes 12th after leading a good portion of this race. That was a tough break for a number of drivers tonight, but you got to feel good for 38-year-old Matt Kovaluk out of Uncasville, Connecticut, veteran in this series. This is his 14th career win in the East Series, and it's really going to tighten up the points race with Austin Dillon. Officially now, I've got him 20 points behind Dillon after this race tonight, and there is Trevor Bayne unhappy pulling in. I think he did cut down a tire.
Yeah, you see that right rear tire down on that one car of Trevor Bayne, but I tell you what, hats off to him. He had a good race here tonight.
Well, Matt Kovaluk pretty excited. I think we're going to get a few donuts.
Man, I tell you what, Matt really won this race. He worked for it here tonight. Started sixth, just kind of hung back there, bounced off the wall 3 or 4 times, knocked the Hamlin out of the race car, but he got up on that steering wheel, put it in victory lane.
He's having a great season. Not only 2 wins, but I mentioned out of the 7 races this year, he has led in 5 of them. And he led the most important lap here tonight. That was the last one. And there is his crew headed up by Perry Waite. Perry Waite did a great job. And here's the pass. But Trevor Bayne not able to give him much of a fight as he had a tire going down.
No, unfortunately for Trevor there, I think his handling problem started right here when he got up the racetrack a little bit and just got worse and worse as the tire pressure started to go down. Handled that race car well.
Trevor Bayne did a great job just to hang on to the thing and keep it out of the wall.
Oh, he did. And again, hats off to him. He's going to have a fine career out ahead of him.
Well, they'll head to Adirondack Speedway after this up in upstate New York. And I think Trevor Bayne, Matt Kovaluk, both going to be pretty strong up there as well.
I think so. Once you get that momentum going, man, it's hard to stop.
Well, Matt Kovaluk done the donuts. Going to celebrate here a while in Nashville. Good place to celebrate. Nashville, Tennessee. Let's go down now to Derek Perniciglio. Derek?
Matt Kovaluk picks up win number 2 of the 2008 season in the Mohegan Sun number 40. He wins the Strutmasters.com 150. A huge celebration tonight. Matt, 2 historic racetracks you got to win at this year. What's going through your mind right now?
I'll tell you, that was just a hard-fought battle, you know. Trevor and I ran hard. Peyton and I ran hard, Austin and I ran hard, so, you know, we all ran, you know, what we needed to do at the beginning part of the race and save what we could save, and then when it came to go time, we were all, you know, getting up on the wheel and going. Good short track race there. You know, we all did a little rubbing towards the end there, but, you know, no one got wrecked, and that's good, hard short track racing right there. That was a good win for this Mohegan Sun team. I got to thank my guys. They did an outstanding job today in the heat and everything. Nobody gave up, kept on digging. Way our season's gone so far, this is huge for, you know, the wrecks that we've had. And I got to say hi to my wife and kids. They're back at Little T racing with my son Kyle, and he qualified second today, so we're going to go back there first thing tomorrow morning. I'm going to get there, and he's going to go out there and win that feature. So we're going to go 2 for 2 this weekend.
Last time you won, he won. But we talked earlier in the day about searching around and finding the right line on the track. You were really making the top line work tonight.
Yeah, you know, I worked as hard as I could. I mean, my crew chief was on the radio telling me to stay at the bottom, and then I had to get on the radio and tell him, say, listen, dude, I'm just searching for some grip out here for when it comes to time to go. I got to know where I can pass guys, and I ran up high to save the tires and then made the bottom shot when I needed to, and there's a ton of grip down there, so we used it up.
Trevor Bayne had trouble out there in the waning laps. Did you guys get together at all?
Yeah, we made a little contact in 3 and 4, I think coming to 2 to go or 3 to go or something. I mean, I didn't think it was anything drastic, but we both got crossed up a little bit, and I lost rear grip a little bit, and I don't know, maybe he got a flat there or something, but, you know, it was hard racing. I mean, we made some contact, no question, but nothing that put either one of us out.
Congratulations. Matt Kovaluk wins the Strutmasters.com 150 at Nashville Music City Motorplex.
Well, there's a happy Matt Kovaluk and a disappointed Trevor Bayne congratulating each other on a good race. Let's go back down to Derek, who is with Trevor Bayne.
Trevor Bayne, you had the car to beat all night long, but with just a handful of laps to go, it started to slow up. What happened?
It's like I said earlier, I'd rather have luck than a good car any day. It just wasn't it was our night, but we didn't get it. I mean, blew a right rear there at the end, led, I mean, almost the last half of the race, every lap almost. I mean, even if they get us on the restart, it's 2 laps, they come straight back to us. I don't know what it was to cut down the right rear, whether it was racing with Max. We touched a little bit, but I don't think that was enough to do it. I told him there was debris in 3 and 4 up in the middle groove when I was about to start on the outside, and I guess they never got it or something. I ran that over right. I mean, I thought they got it. I come around the second lap and hit it a little bit, and I think that's what got the right rear, but it was a hard race, and we were just trying to play it smart, and it didn't turn out that way. But we'll be back next week.
Tough break for Trevor Bayne. He had a tough break this week, but he still sits in the top 5 in points.
Yeah, he's got a good shot at that championship. So does Matt Kovaluk, who's now just 20 points behind Austin Dillon.
Exactly. So it was an awesome race. This is the type of racing that Nashville is noted for.
Great race tonight. Congratulations to Matt Kovaluk, winner of the Strutmasters.com 150. For Derek Perniciglio and Dan Partis, I'm Mike Hawkwood. So long from Nashville, Tennessee.